Shalom, family. I pray all is well with each and every one of you today. I pray blessings upon your homes and your lives today. This message that I'm going to deliver is going to be to a different audience, I should say. But before I start on my message today, I am going to ask you, for those who can, to donate to a fellow sister and her mother. One of the dear sisters I have met back in 2017 at an event, at a Kodesh event, has reached out to me and several others for financial assistance with her mom, who is in the hospital, who is actually fighting for her life. I will put the link to her GoFundMe page down in the description box. We just ask for those who can help. If you can, please help. And those that you can't, if you can send up a prayer to the Most High Yahuwah for her healing, and that she is able to walk out of that hospital to return home with her daughter, and that it be the Most High's will for this to happen. That's what the family is asking for right now. So I will go on with my message. And I'm going to start with Ephesians 6, 1 through 4. That's my base message about obeying our parents. Ephesians 6, 1 through 3. Children, obey your parents in the Most High, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with you, and thou may live long on earth. And I'm going to pause and go back to the word honor. If you look it up, it means to honor, to have honor or reverence, to have a fear of. But we're supposed to fear no man before the Most High. So you're supposed to have a certain fear for your parents. That anything that you do anything wrong, like we do anything wrong before the Father, that we will be chastised or disciplined. Matthew 15 and 4. For Yahuwah commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother, and he that curses father or mother, let him die to death. And children, you probably say, I've never cursed my parents before. But when I look up the word curse, it means to speak evil of or to verbally abuse. So how many of you talk bad about your parents, whether it's warranted or not? How many of you utter something evil and vile out your lips towards your parents? Now that part may not be warranted, something vile. Well, if you're angry with your parents about something, you go tell a friend that they made you angry for one thing or another, that's one thing. But speak out your lips something so hurtful and disrespectful about your parents, it's not something that the Most High himself will stand for. And it says in Matthew 19:19, honor your father and your mother, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. And I looked up the word neighbor. I believe I have it written down in another part. But the word neighbor means your brother, either your blood brother or somebody that is a fellow believer, or just another person. So we have to love them as and treat them as if how we want to be treated. Mark 7 and 10. For Moses said, who curses father or mother let him die the death. Children, you ought to be quaking right about now and wondering, looking at your parents and asking, what does that mean? That if you curse your parents, that you will die. But as we go on, I will explain that to you. And I want you to think about every bad thing you could have said about your parents that could have been hurtful. If it was to ever get back to them, how would that make them feel? And if you said something that you're afraid will get back to them, you might want to pull your parents aside and discuss what happened and what made you say those things, and ask them for their forgiveness. Now, you may be spanked or punished in some other form, but you owe that to your parents to apologize. All right, Exodus 20:12. Honor your father and mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Most High your Elohim gives you. And that is the 5th commandment that the Most High handed down to Moses to give to the children of Israel. That we are to honor our father and our mother. So if the Most High tells you to do so, aren't you supposed to do it? And if you remember in Matthew, both verses for Matthew and for Mark, the Messiah himself was saying it, that we to honor our father and our mother. So if the Father and the Messiah say we're supposed to honor our parents, are you going to disobey them because you're angry or because you don't think you have to? I wouldn't suggest it. Exodus 20:13 tell us that we shall not kill. And Exodus 20:16 says we shall not bear false witness against our neighbors. And that's where I had wrote down the definition for neighbor is our friend or another person. And bearing a false witness or false is telling a lie on someone, deceiving someone by changing the truth a little bit, which is still a lie, swearing falsely or swearing a false oath. How many times have we been told not to lie to our parents? You don't want to go out there and be a talebearer, speaking things that you shouldn't say to other people, telling people's business or lying on other folks, being a false witness or a slanderer. It's not right. How would you feel if someone did you the same way? How would you feel if the Most High instantly punished you for doing so? How about if the Most High told your parents? Because we are able to hear from the Father. So a lot of children are able to hear from the Father's voice, or not his exact voice, but his messenger's voice, telling your parents that you did or said something so badly that to be on the lookout when you get home, or that they should come up to your school. Just think about that. Proverbs 17:4. It says, a wicked doer gives heed to false lips, and a liar gives ear to a naughty tongue. John 8:44. You are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and bold and not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So if you go around telling lies all the time, you're going to be known as a liar and going to be known as the child of Satan. So do you want to be known as a child of the devil or a child of the Father in heaven? Because you're known as the child of the devil, nobody want to be your friend. No one that's true to the Father want to be your friend. They will treat you as an outcast. So you have to try to live your life always telling the truth. Don't tell the truth to the point you know it's going to hurt somebody's feelings. but find a way to tell them the truth when you don't hurt them. All right. 1 John 4:20. If a man say, I love Yahuwah, and hates his brother, he is a liar. For he that loves not his brother whom he has seen, how can he love Yahuwah whom he has not seen? So, you say that you love God, and that might be the name you know him by, or the title you know him by, but his real name is Yahuwah. And you say, oh, I love Yahuwah, I love God. But you look at a fellow sibling or a fellow believer or a neighbor, and you tell them that you hate them because they made you so mad. Or if you tell your parents you hate them, how can you say you love the Most High when we are an image of the Most High? He created us in his image. So basically, when you tell somebody that you hate them, in a way you telling the Most High that you hate him. And that's a bad place to be. So I have a question. So I have, dear children, your life, just like in adults, require living right, obeying and reverencing, which is fearing your Heavenly Father, the Creator. Just like your Heavenly Father, you're supposed to listen to your parents. When the Father's word states that you must honor your parents, that means no back talking, wanting or telling your parents to die or that you hate them. This angers the Most High. You, just like adults, must look at self first to see what you may have done to upset your parents with you. Just like we adults, we have to first look at ourselves to see what we did or are doing to upset Yahuwah for him to punish us. So children, you're not the only ones getting punished by your parents, because the Most High, the Heavenly Father, is the ultimate parent. He's the ultimate father. So when any one of us do wrong, he's going to punish us. And he's not going to be slack. It might be just enough to get your attention, or it may be a little bit more harsher than just to get your attention. So, did you ignore them when they told you to do your chores or your homework? Do you start fights or hang around the wrong crowd of children? Those that your parents will consider a bad influence on you? The consequences for your disobedience is discipline. Proverbs 13:24 states, he that spares his rod hates his son, but he that loves him chastens or disciplines him early. Children, remember the scriptures I read before from the Messiah in Matthew 19:19, and when he said, children, obey your father and mother or die the death. What about the commandment in Exodus 20:12 from Yahuwah himself, who states, honor your father and mother for your days to be long? Be grateful to Yahuwah for the discipline that you get in our time. Listen and meditate on this account in the Bible where a son was disobedient and rebellious against his parents, and what punishment he received. Deuteronomy 21:18-21. If a man have a stubborn or rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken to them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this is our son, who is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Now ignore that part. And all the men of the city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put an evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. So children, did you hear that part? When the parents of that child was trying to talk to him and try to get him to listen, even chasing him, well, I probably whipped him with a belt a little bit, or a switch, or had to go upside his head with a hand or something. I'm not saying that's what they did. I'm trying to think in our times what they could have done to him. And still that child refused to listen. So they had to take this child, their only child, before the elders of the city. And the elders had to take him outside the city before the rest of the people, and they stoned this child to death. Could you imagine your parents doing that because you did not listen? That you know that your last breath going to be taken because you were stoned to death because you didn't listen to your parents. What if you had listened? You would be still alive today in this time. So be grateful for the times that we're in, that we are not punished the same way. This is why parents are commanded to discipline their children. I did not say beat them or leave bruises. I did not say discipline them out of anger or a drunken rage. As Yahuwah deals with his children in a calm manner, we are to deal with you children in a calm manner. Because you are to know why you are being disciplined. For Hebrews 12:6 tell us that Yahuwah chastens those he loves. So as children, you are a representation of your parents. So when you are bad, you stain your parents' name they gave you. Just as all of Yahuwah's children whom he gave his name act in the same or worse manner, stain Yahuwah's name. His punishment is worse than what you get from your blood parents. Be grateful. Sirach 30:12. Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto you, and so bring sorrow to your heart. Proverbs 23:13-14. Withhold not correction from the child, for if you beat him with the rod, he shall not die. You shall beat him with a rod and shall deliver his soul from the grave. You hear that, children? If they discipline you early, they will save your soul from the affliction of the Most High. Because if you continue in your wrong, even after your parents raised you in the right ways, raised you in the ways that the Most High directed them to do so through his word, and you be disobedient and continue to strive with your parents and be highly disrespectful, then the Most High will then come for you. Okay. In our time, a switch from a bush or a belt would be used as the rod of correction. Regardless of what man's laws state, the Heavenly Father, the creator of heaven and earth, states for parents to discipline their children while they are in error, mainly of Yahuwah's laws and being disobedient to parents. Even the Apostle Peter in Acts 5 tells the Pharisees it's better for them to obey Yahuwah than man. Ezekiel 18:4. See, all things are mine. The being of the Father as well as the being of the Son is mine. The being that is sinning shall die. Psalms 127:3-4. Lo, children are a heritage of Yahuwah, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are the children of the youth. 1 John 4:4. You are of Yahuwah, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is Yahuwah that is in you than he, which is the devil, that is in the world. Children, remember this also, disobedience and dishonoring your parents is a sin. For 1 John 3:4 tells us, whosoever commits sin transgresses also the law. For a sin is the transgression of the law. Now, parents, it is your responsibility to raise a child in the way he or she goes, per Proverbs 22:6. When we as parents fail to properly raise our children, their behavior falls upon us. This is also a key verse that many parents like to overlook when they are chastening their children and reminding them to obey. Ephesians 6:4. And you fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring him up in the nurture and admonition or exhortation of Yahuwah. So parents, are you doing something to anger your children that will cause them to curse you? Are you doing something to your children that will cause them to be disobedient to you? Are you an alcoholic? Are you coming home filled with booze, beating on your children? Are you a parent that's maybe have a disdain for the other parent of that child? If you're a single parent and you have a disdain for the other parent, and every time you look at that child, the remembrance of that other parent angers you, but you want to take it on that child. These are wrong. This manner of disciplining your child is an error. You are beating a child. You are taking out things on a child that has nothing to do with that child. There is something wrong with you. Now you need to seek help. If you don't think you can raise that child, give it to a responsible adult or a family within your family. Don't give it to strangers. Do what's best for the child. Don't abandon your children, because you laid down and had that child. And every child that you have doesn't belong to you. He or she belongs to the Most High Yahuwah. So whatever you do to that child, the Most High remembers. And He can render a recompense upon you for that child's sake. And I will say this to you too, children. Think about what you have done to get a spanking, or to be put on punishment, to go to your room, to not have your phone, to not be able to spend time with your friends. Before you go tell a stranger that your parent is disciplining you for something that you done, think about this. What you're doing is telling a stranger that your parents are beating you or being bad parents, and it's going to cause strangers to come in your home and snatch you from your parents and put you possibly in a home with people who don't like children, who just want children for the money, and they're going to treat you a whole lot worse than your parents do. I'm not trying to scare you, but that is reality. Everyone is not granted the best parents. Everybody's not brought up in a two-family house or a two-parent household, because I wasn't. Just know that your parents is doing the best that they can. If you can go in the kitchen and there's some food in your cupboards or in your cabinets or in the food pantry, you got clothes on your back, you have a roof over your head, be grateful. Because in actuality, that's the only thing they are supposed to supply you, besides bringing you up in the ways of the Most High. Anything above that, you have to earn. Just think about that. Everything cannot be given to you. Everything cannot be given to you. And parents, Stop trying to appease your child by giving them everything under the sun, because the action of your children is your fault. You give them everything under the sun to shut them up. You try to be their best friend when that is not your place. You are required to shelter them, feed them, clothe them, and raise them up in the ways of the Most High. And when they get a certain age, you're supposed to let them go. When you let them go out your house, it's up to them to continue in the ways that they was raised or turn. Only thing you can do from that point on is pray to the Most High Yahuwah that what you did, the best you could do, is enough, and let the Most High take it from there. Because we all have a choice to live righteously or live wickedly. Just pray for your children every day that you draw breath. Every day that your child wakes up and draw breath, just thank the Most High for them. Children, thank the Most High for your parents. And if there's a problem in the household, you go before the Most High and you cry out. Each child should have a closet in their room that they can go into, that they can go and scream and holler in that closet, and you cry out to the Most High when there's a problem, and let Him help you deal with the problem in your household. Many of us are blessed. Many of you are blessed that brought up in a two-parent household. Many of us are brought up in a household with only one parent, and that parent did the best they can. But those who are selfish, who only thought about themselves, the Most High will deal with you. Because your life should have been about that child, because you laid down and had him or her. So in this message is a twofold. I'm talking to the children to obey your parents. But we as parents, or we as adults, are also children to somebody. We're also children, for the most part, to the Most High Yahuwah. When we are disobedient, we deserve chastisement. We deserve our discipline just as much as the children. So remember that. And I pray for you and your household. Shalom.